This is part 2 of a 3-part series on using the biology of trauma to strengthen our healing. This part is about understanding the science of danger, safety, and connection to help us understand ourselves and understand our clients. This part concentrates on polyvagal theory. And I'd like to start by acknowledging the work of Stephen Porges, who created the concept of polyvagal theory and developed all the foundational understanding. And then the work of Deb Dana, who has taken Stephen Porges's work and translated it into useful techniques that we can all use in both our work with clients and our understanding of ourselves and our coworkers. I highly recommend Deb Dana's books. So this presentation is designed to take the latest development in the science of brain and bodies, look at how we can use them to understand our own reactions, our clients' reaction, and also to understand how to develop respectful and compassionate workplaces. The polyvagal theory is very exciting. It explains everything and gives us a practical way to help. In trauma-informed care, one of our most basic premises is the power of relationships. Relationships are our most powerful tool. Relationships are how brains are built and changed. Relationships are how all change happens. So therefore, it's crucial that we understand and utilize the science of relationships. What do I mean by the polyvagal theory explains everything? It describes our physical system, our bodily system of managing danger and intimacy. It's the science of safety, the science of how humans feel safe enough to fall in love and to take the risks of living. How do we feel safe enough to connect to others? So what is this polyvagal theory? This is Stephen Porges who created it. Poly means many, and vagal refers to the vagus nerve, a long nerve that goes from our brain to all the organs in our body and is responsible for conveying information in both directions. It has multiple branches and is crucial in our ability to thrive. So what are some of the key principles here? Well, our understanding of danger and safety, the work of the vagal nerve, is not a conscious or voluntary activity. It's not something we decide to do. Instead, it's something that's happening constantly within our body, within our physical selves, underneath our conscious or verbal awareness. So in order to really understand this, we have to get past the Western idea that there's a separate psychological person and a physical person. In fact, those are all one. Everything we are is physical. And this is about how do we physically monitor our environments for danger and safety, and what does that do in our bodies? All of this applies to everyone, ourselves, our clients, our fellow workers. So as we learn about polyvagal theory and we teach our clients, youth, or people of any age about it, it helps diminish shame and blame because it helps us understand our reactions as the survival mechanisms they are. It helps us become more aware of ourselves, and it helps us develop awareness in other people. And thus it leads to some practical strategies. So, okay, that sounds great. What is it? So this has to do with the human paths to intimacy and safety, the way our brain and body are connected, the idea of neuroception and our reaction to the information we get through neuroception. What is neuroception? Okay, this is another word that Stephen Porges coined, and it refers to the way our autonomic nervous system, that is the physical aspects of our body, scan our environment for cues of safety, danger, and life threat without involving the thinking or verbal parts of our brain. So we're constantly scanning our world, both our internal world and our external world, to find out, are we safe? Is danger anywhere in our environment? parts of this scanning involve our gut, our heart, our throat, our eyes and ears, our skin. There's lots of information we're gathering. So neuroception, the word neuro, comes from our nervous system that connects all these sources of information and integrates them. And ception comes from perception. So it's how our nervous systems are deciding, are things safe around here? Are these people safe? Are they going to hurt me? Are they going to help me? And again, it's happening in the primitive parts of our brain. This quote is apt. There's a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. This calls up things that we say, such as trust your gut, or if you have a feeling about somebody, believe it. That shows that we understand that our body has wisdom about our world that we do well to pay attention to. So it's our detecting safety and danger without being aware that we're doing so. And it's important to notice that we detect cues, we get information both from inside and outside our body. So you could get a strong information from your stomach that something isn't safe. For example, you just eat that clam and all of a sudden your stomach feels sick and you feel miserable. Well, there's a signal from your body saying, stop eating those clams, don't eat any more. You can, of course, get messages from outside your body that things aren't safe, that you're about to have a car accident, that there's a snake in your path. And then you can also get information from your relationships with others, from the interaction between you and other people in your environment. Your body is scanning all those sources of information and integrating them to a sense of danger or safety. This is essential because as humans, we have a fundamental dilemma, which is that to stay alive, we have to connect to each other. Our bodies are designed for connection, to bring us close, because connection is essential to our survival. It's much easier to find dinner or to succeed in life or to have some help when you have a flat tire if you have connections to others. On the other hand, it's also essential to stay alive to understand when others are dangerous to you, when someone is going to hurt you, and to respond to diminish that danger. You have to do both, connect and separate. If you don't, you have to connect in order to work together, to protect each other, to have children, to raise those children. You have to detect danger so that you can fight or get away or protect your young or freeze and become invisible. So how do you know when to do which one? How much of each to do in any given situation? That's where the neuroception comes in. That's where our scanning for danger and safety in every situation tells us what to do. We are scanning other people with great acuity. We're looking at facial expressions, the noise they're making, the tone of their voice, the movements they're making, their posture. We're influenced by, are they familiar to us or new? And then there's many other aspects of the environment that are giving us cues about how things are going. Then another crucial important point is that our neuroception, that is our sense of what is dangerous and what is not dangerous, is influenced by our experience. Here's a simple example. A child could go in a kitchen and find that it's a very safe place, but then they burn their hand on a hot stove. Now they have a different view of the kitchen as being largely safe, but having this one dangerous spot. So as we go through life, as we have relationships, as we have experiences, our nervous system is learning about the world and learning what are things that are likely to help us and protect us, what are things that are likely to cause us to be in danger. The vagus nerve is the main part of this nervous system, the big nerve that goes down the center of our body. And it's part of what's called the autonomic nervous system. That's the nervous system that you don't control, and it causes your body to do all the things that are automatically, like digestion, blood running through your veins, your heartbeat, your breathing, all the things that happen without our needing to decide them to happen. Even things like a cut that you get heals. All the body does a lot of work to make that cut heal. All of that is managed through the autonomic nervous system. The vagus nerve connects all this input from different parts of our body and from our organs, which are getting information from the world, such as our eyes, our ears, our sense of taste, our skin, our feel, connects all that information, puts it together, and reports it to the primitive brain and takes ideas from the primitive brain about what we should do next. It's not deciding whether something's right or wrong, good or bad, moral or immoral. It's deciding if something is safe or unsafe. That's it. So when we're trying to understand what someone's experience is in a certain event, it's important that we look at what happened in their body as they were having that event, as they were enduring or experiencing that event, and what kind of support did they have from their environment. So if the autonomic nervous system is in a situation of constant danger, it needs to use a lot of its energy, a lot of its available bandwidth, to use our current phrase, to monitor that danger and decide how to react. It has to be concentrated on that a lot. So therefore, it has less time, less energy for all the other things it's supposed to be doing, such as digestion and making your heartbeat right. So this may be one of the links between ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and illness. The fact that the autonomic nervous system is preoccupied with the danger that's present in the environment and has less skill for things like immunity and fighting disease and healing cuts. So here's a picture of the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is this yellow that's you can see goes from the brainstem up and down the body. And it is important to remember that the communication is bidirectional. That is, that the nerve is collecting a lot of information from our organs. How is the food digesting? How tense are the muscles? What's the heart rate? How's the skin feeling? And it's also connecting information from the senses, eyes, nose, ears. And then it's communicating instructions to those organs. Raise the blood pressure, stop digesting, slow the heart rate, tense the muscles, based on safety and danger. This polyvagal system, this vagus nerve, has 3 parts, 3 possibilities for responding when it does notice danger in the environment. And these possibilities are hierarchical. They developed hierarchically, and we use them hierarchically. So I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. Our first response when we become aware of danger is to connect with others, to become engaged with others. So we look around and see if there's anybody that can help us stay safe in this danger. If it turns out that there is no help available, there's nobody around, or the people who are around do not seem to be sources of help, then we move into part 2, which is the mobilization, the sympathetic nervous system, and we start becoming activated to take action to keep ourselves safe. And this is where fight and flight come in. The nerve sends signals to our body to say, get ready to fight and flight. It simultaneously stops other non-essential bodily functions such as digestion and analytical thinking in order to have all the energy of the body available for getting away, for fighting, for mobilizing in the service of safety. What if that doesn't seem like it's going to work? What if there is no way to fight or no way to get away? Then our body goes into immobilization. The dorsal vagus goes into retreat. Immobilization can be everything from curling up as a ball, in a ball, trying to become invisible, lowering your heart rate and preparing for pain. Retreat, it involves retreat from other people, disconnecting completely, trying to become invisible. So first engagement, then mobilization, then invisibility. All of these, the very important thing to know is all of these states are good. There's no good state and bad state. We need all of these states at different times. What is good is to be able to move fluidly between them as life demands, and that when you go down into the lower possibilities of retreat, to be able to get back up again and to come back to connection fairly readily once the danger goes away. So here's just another way of describing these three states. The system of safety and connection is the first one we turn to. The second one is mobilization, protection through action, aggression or escape. So the point is that if active escape or aggression or mobilized protection doesn't work, we then move into immobilization, to that disappearing, conservation of energy, trying to curl up in a ball and hope no one will notice us. When the danger is gone, we hope to return to the system of safety and connection pretty easily. So that system of connection is the newest evolution in human development. And in that, when you're in that top system, that what they call ventral vagal, that connected way of being in the world, that's when you're able to connect with others and regulate yourself and regulate it with the use of someone else. In other words, co-regulate. That's when you're most healthy. You can grow. Your heartbeat's regulated. You're breathing easily. You can see people. You can take in their kindness, their good wishes. You can experience them. You can tune into the conversations. You're not listening to other distractions. Your attention is actually towards the other person. When you're feeling distressed, you can talk about it and explore it with the other person. You can reach out for support. You can offer support. You feel resourced and resourceful. You feel strong or at ease. Then when you're in that middle one, it's that sense of danger and that sense that you have to do something about it. So your focus is narrow and it's only on safety and danger. Where is my danger coming from and where will my safety be? You're scanning the environment looking for the source of danger. That's the only thing you're seeing. You have a separation from other people. You tend to be, since you're alert for danger, you tend to oversee danger. You tend to think things are dangerous that might not even be. You aren't interested in connecting with others. You're only interested in securing your own safety, because that's what you need to do at that moment to survive. Movement is what you want to do. You're feeling the need to fight, to run away, to do something to get out of this danger. Your ears are tuned in to sounds that may signify danger, and you actually cannot even hear friendly voices. And then when you go into the dorsal vagal, the lower or earliest evolution of responses, you're immobilized. That's the path of the last resort. That's when your body has decided no people wish to help, fighting or getting away is not possible. I have to shut down. I'm scared to death. Collapse, disconnected, numb. You dissociated. You feel hopeless. You try to numb out, try not to feel, try not to notice, and not to be noticed. So here's the same thing put into a ladder format, which Deb Dana developed. This is a way that people have described these three states. The ventral vagal or connection one is safe and warm, strong and gentle, close, joined, free to share. Then the next one is fear is whispering to me. There's a sense of being afraid, have to take action, have to escape, can't trust anyone, don't feel safe. And then finally, you're far away, no sound, small, silent, barely breathing, and alone. So again, here's another example of how these states correlate with different organs in our body. Here's a cartoon about the states that just show you, again, what the three states mean in more of a cartoon format, and it emphasizes that they developed in sequence, and that the first one to develop was the retreat, the second one was the fight or flight, and the third was the connection. So we're always scanning for danger. Where does trauma come into this? Well, early trauma distorts and amplifies the sense of danger. The body is overly heightened to danger, overly expecting danger, and reacts faster to protect itself. This is the physical response of having lived in a dangerous world. While attachment creates safety, if you've had trauma, you don't believe that. That has not been your experience. It has been instead your experience that attachment creates danger. You know, as I said earlier, humans need connection to survive. We've always needed to decide who's safe, and to, if safe, to use someone to work together to help each other, to do a better, to be able to do greater things by working together. In this phrase, we have survival of the fittest. Fittest really means the one who is most able to make connections with others, the one who is most alert to the signs of safety in others, the person who can see connection possibilities. It's important to note that in determining the safety of another person, we pay a lot more attention to things like the way their face looks, the tone and posture of their body, the sound of their voice, the tone of their voice, and not so much to the content of their words. In the best of times, when we do feel danger, it's attachment that helps us get through it, and it soothes our danger response. When we are in our safe state, we actually have all these muscles in our face that show a relaxation, and we can see this in others. We can appreciate tiny shifts in their attention, in their connection with us, in their reaction to us. We're very tuned into these small changes in each other. So when we are interacting with each other, we want to be able to connect. We want to be able to help each other in regulating emotions. We want to, it influences the way our voice is, the way it influences the muscles in our ear. When we're connected, the muscles in our ears change so that we tune in mainly to voices, to the sound waves at the level of voices. When we become more of a sense of danger, our ears actually change so that instead we hear more sounds of danger, which are low rumbling type sounds. And again, let's emphasize that this social connection phase is not just that we don't feel danger, it's that we feel safe. So we want to be able to use that social system as much as possible to manage life's difficulties. And we want to be able to move back to the social system when we've needed to go into the other two modes. So again, our sense of what's dangerous and what's safe is influenced by our experiences. So our neuroception can become distorted when we've lived in situations of danger. In that case, we start misreading cues. We see danger where it isn't there. We have difficulty assessing risk. We tend to go to the second stage of fight or flight more quickly, fast, perhaps before it's really necessary. And that all causes trouble in our forming relationships, making those connections that are so important. On the other hand, if we've had generally good experiences, we can accurately read the cues. And it doesn't mean that we don't go into the other states. That would also be pathological if we never went into the other states. It means that we're able to access them and then come back into connection. So people learn their sense of danger. They learn what can help them. They learn what can hurt them. They learn how to tell the difference between people that hurt and people that help. And these sorts of differences can carry over. So someone could learn that men hurt, or they could learn that they could grow up in a racist environment, that, as we all have, and they learn that Black people are dangerous. We learn these things from our own personal experiences, from what we're told, from what we see happening to other people, and also from the messages of our society. So our neuroception is influenced by the messages that society tells us about these are dangerous people, these are dangerous situations. We also learn from our experiences what keeps us safe, what helps, where we can hide when we need to, and how we can connect with people. We learn from our environments what we are allowed to do to protect ourselves and what we are not allowed to do. For instance, women may learn that while lots of situations are dangerous for them, it's not okay to speak up. It's not okay to fight back. That would be a way that our neuroception would be influenced by societal messages. So how do we help promote healthy neuroception? How do we interact with people that we meet in the present who have learned from their past experiences and help them develop their neuroception? For one thing, we teach the theory of this and teach people to understand their own bodies, which will help them not to blame themselves and understand that their body is reacting naturally to what has happened to them. And we begin paying attention to our own movement between the various states and what sort of things move us forward and backwards. We understand in what areas we are oversensitive, or what we have learned that we may want to relearn now. We have to start by honoring our current selves, that our current perceptions and strategies is based on real experiences. It's only from that place of honoring where we are now that we can move towards deciding what is working in the present and what is not. And we can teach things like breathing, meditation, to help us be aware of our bodies, be able to take a pause and figure out what's going on with us. Of course, connections between people, learning that people can be safe is crucial. Here's an example of a kind of ladder that we can use. We'll go into this more in the second part of how we can begin to track our own movement between these states and what sort of things tend to make us move between them. What keeps us in them, and what moves us out of them. We want to look at what does make us feel that there's a threat. Some of these are newness, change, tone of voice, bodily postures, loud noises, low tones, unpredictability, and then we may have our own individual ones. And we look at our programs. How many of these senses of threats are there all the time? Can we do anything about that? These are some of the stimuli for safety: familiar people, connection, music, food, laughter, play. Can we develop those aspects of our program? Can we enhance these and have our program contain as many possible indicators of safety as we can possibly put in? We talk a lot in trauma-informed care about the window of tolerance, which has to do with how many things can go wrong before you have a complete meltdown and before you need to disconnect from others. Oh, look at this window of tolerance. It's in another language. How cool. But I can still understand it. Our window of tolerance, the things we can handle, is larger when we feel safe. When we feel unsafe, small things can send us over the edge. When we're feeling mobilized or when we've retreated, we don't even notice that there are people there for connection. And so that's something we can expand and enhance, ways to notice when people can help you. So in summary, humanity's really known these ideas for centuries, even though they haven't used the word polyvagal theory. The people who survive are those who are best at connection. Connection is a biological imperative. It's good that our bodies manage danger, and it's good that we come back into connection. So Stephen Porges says, there's no such thing as a bad response. There's only adaptive responses. Our nervous system's always trying to do the right thing, and we have to respect it and what it's done. And then we can, as we're less judgmental on ourselves, then we can become more aware of our responses and be gentle and help ourselves learn how to get back into connection. Here's an extensive bibliography about this. Thank you.